Okay, finally getting around to starting my birth story. Little one is wrecked out. I just gave him a feed, so hopefully he lasts throughout the video so I can get this done. Now I was going to do an official labor and delivery vlog. I had started out recording it, and then things got really intense, so the last thing I was even thinking about was pulling out my camera. I just figured in the end I would do a birth story and kind of putting clips here and there that I did end up taking of the labor slash birth. So you guys will see a little bit of it. It just won't be like a full vlog, unfortunately. Yeah, so he's officially 2 weeks old, and the cutest little thing ever. I will show you him at the end, or if he decides to wake up in between. Okay, so 2 weeks ago today at about 2:30 in the morning, I woke up because I wasn't feeling him very much. Usually he's a very active baby, and so I kind of just started to worry a little bit. And so what I did was just go outside on the balcony, kind of bounce around, try and get him moving, just so I can have that peace of mind that he was okay. So at this point I was 39 plus 6 weeks. Anyway, I went back to bed after I did feel him move, and as I was falling back asleep I started feeling contractions. I didn't think too much of it because I had been getting a lot of Braxton Hicks throughout my pregnancy, like third trimester, so I didn't think too much of it until I kept getting them what seemed to be consistently. So I whipped out the contraction tracker app on my phone and I started timing them, and they were about 4.5 minutes apart, lasting about 1.5 minutes at a time. And so I let them go for a while before I woke up my fiance, because it was like, oh really? It was like 2:30, 3 o'clock in the morning, and he had just finished a 10-hour shift at the hospital doing security. Little did he know that he was going to take me back there in like an hour. Anyway, so I woke him up. I said, babe, I think it's happening. I'm getting contractions. Told him how far apart they were, and we had already packed the car. We had our bags packed. So he was waiting for this moment for quite a while. So he jumped up. He's like, it's happening, let's do this. And he was just like, you know, go, go, go. So I was trying to get myself ready in between contractions, which was kind of funny. I wish I had recorded it. But in between the contractions, I was just like, you know, shoes on, clothes on, bag, charger, everything that I needed, and we left out the door. Now, I had gone to the hospital quite a bit in the third trimester just for reduced movements, and in the end I was dealing with SPD, which is something to do with your pelvic floor, which is extremely uncomfortable to deal with. You can't walk, you can't move, it's just excruciating pain, like your pelvis is being torn apart, to put it nicely. Ooh. Yeah, so it's kind of like that. Also I don't have it anymore, gestational diabetes, which I was diagnosed at 28 weeks. And so I was completely diet controlled. I didn't need insulin, thankfully. And yeah, I just had to take my bloods every single day. Some of you may already know from my Instagram, I do have depression and a bit of anxiety. And so unfortunately that was playing up a lot towards the end there, and I was really feeling a toll on myself physically and mentally. And so I really kind of, oh wait, he's the most gruntiest baby, and so I really at that point kind of wanted it to happen. I had a feeling that I was going to go over my due date because there was just no sign of him coming at all, unfortunately. He was engaged. He was head down and engaged for weeks. I'm talking like 3-4 weeks, ready to go, locked and loaded. So I was like, yay, any day now, for like weeks. And that also took a toll on me mentally because I had this kind of expectation of when he should be here. Anyway, I get to the hospital, they popped the monitors on me. He wasn't moving for a little bit, and so I did mention that I did have reduced movements, and so unfortunately they decided to induce me. So I wasn't leaving without my baby, so I was kind of happy with that. So they put me in the maternity ward, birthing suite, which is absolutely beautiful. You guys will see that. I'll insert a little clip of it.
Reckons he needs to look his best for his son. You're so funny.
And yeah, so they decided to break my waters straight away and see how things progressed on my own. So I am admitted. I came in. This one's stealing.
That's some good shit.
Stealing my gas. It's not for you, babe.
Here you
Stop. It's unbelievable.
Oh yeah, that's some good shit.
I'm dizzy. Water? Yes, thanks, Mum.
Well,
Just take some deep breaths while you're not something like that. Do you feel any more?
Not yet, at least.
at about 3 a.m. this morning, this one starts measuring contractions while I sleep, selfishly.
So
So we were here by about 4:20 in the morning.
yeah, and now
This
we're
morning.
in the labour process. They've broken my waters. I'm now on oxytocin and on the gas.
So woo.
So hopefully it progresses nice and quick. These
Just
contractions are pretty
bouncing
intense.
around.
Yeah, I've got the exercise ball going. So yeah, we'll see how we go, but I'll keep you guys posted.
Stay tuned.
I think they waited for 2 hours and nothing was happening, like nothing was really advancing too much. I was having contractions, but they just weren't lasting long enough. So they decided to start oxytocin, which kind of brings on labor and intensifies your contraction. It's like a synthetic hormone, like the love hormone oxytocin that we have. It's just a synthetic version of that they started. And so from then on, contractions were really, really intense. I had my fiance and my mum with me there supporting me, which is really, really good. I started on gas. I started on a low dose, ended up on a high dose until the gas did nothing at all. It was, if anything, just making me feel really nauseated and like dizzy and sick. So I was kind of just in between bearing with the contractions or taking the gas and feeling sick. So it was like, pick your poison. It was really, really difficult for me. These contractions, I can't even explain the pain. It's like nothing I felt in my entire life. I was out of my body. I just wasn't within myself, and it was just excruciating. I didn't see my fiance, I didn't see my mom, like everything was just a blur when these contractions were on. And I had to go to the bathroom obviously every now and then, and I would try and do it in between contractions, and it was just like, nope, not gonna happen. And I'd get a contraction like on the way to the bathroom, or if I was sitting on the toilet, and I would just like scream. I didn't think I'd be one of those people, but I was in agony. After that, they checked me. I was 2 to 3 centimeters, and I was 2 to 3 centimeters for a very long time. Nothing really progressed. So I think I was, 2 to 3 centimeters for a good 8 hours. Yeah, didn't move. which is really, really disheartening. So about 8 hours later, after going through natural labor without anything but gas, and I did have morphine didn't do anything, I opted for an epidural. Now, epidural was something that I was like, no, not gonna happen no matter what, I'm not gonna have one. I just, you know, I did my research on the pros and cons, and there were a lot more cons than there were pros and all of that. And in my antenatal classes I learned that would just, if you can avoid an epidural, it's probably better for your body in the long run. But you can't say that to a labouring woman. You just can't. And so I was just like, give me the epidural. I'm at 2 to 3 centimeters, and this is the pain that I'm feeling. No thank you, I cannot do this on my own any longer. I can't even imagine what the pain would be like if I got to like 8, 9 centimeters, 10 centimeters. Whew. Yeah, I didn't want to find out. So I asked for an epidural. Luckily they got one for me straight away. I think within like half an hour I had it. I was kind of scared of the epidural, but it's nothing compared to the contractions you're having, so it kind of really worked out for me. After that was administered, I was able to relax, I was able to have a sleep. I didn't feel contractions at all. Here and now I'd feel a bit of pressure, but oh god, it was just bliss. And I just thought to myself, why did I let myself go for 8 hours without this? Like, anyway, you live and you learn. I'm a stubborn bitch. A Taurus. Hello. At about, I'm gonna say 6 o'clock, 6 p.m. they checked me again. Lo and behold, 3 centimeters. So they just said, look, now that you've got the epidural, just rest, sleep now that you can, and hopefully things will progress. They upped the oxytocin, so take me up to about 9 p.m. Oh yeah, before that, I will say that when they checked me, the last check, they had done a stretch and sweep, which is also what they did when I got to the hospital as well, just to get things moving. When she did that, she felt that his head was kind of turned not the right way, at least not, you know, ideal for vaginal delivery. So I was really, really concerned about that, and all that kept going on in my head was, will I need a C-section? And I was really worried about that because that's the last thing that I wanted. So she said, look, there's a little trick I can do that may help encourage his head to straighten up and move down the birth canal. So she did this exercise with me where I was lying flat on my back. I pulled my arm to this side and my leg to that side as well, and she just kind of stretched it out. Stretched it out and held it for about a couple minutes at a time, and was like massaging here at the same time. I don't know what kind of voodoo magic that was, but guess what, folks? It worked. Because when she checked, literally 2 hours later, mind you, I was 2 to 3 centimeters then. 2 hours later she checked, Bub's head was in the right position, ready to go, and I was 10 centimeters. I was 10 centimeters at that point, and I could not believe it. This was 9 p.m. roughly. I was just like, I'm about to have my baby. I could not believe it. And so she's like, we'll give him an hour to let his head drop a little lower, and then we can start practice pushing. She said it could take about up to 2 hours to get the hang of it and to have your baby, especially for first time mums. Hour goes by to let his head drop, and she comes back with the team and we're ready to practice push. So she kind of gave me a rundown, popped my legs back. I mean, I didn't want to have him on my back, but look, by this point my birth plan, oh wait, Jerome, it's fine. My birth plan slash preference was just out the window. Look, it was gone. At this point, I just wanted to do whatever they recommended. His heart rate had started dipping a little bit. All I could think about was the health and safety of my baby. I couldn't do a water birth, which is the one thing that I did want, and it's because I had to be monitored constantly, so I couldn't get in the water. And so I said, okay, fine, I will give birth on my hands and knees. Couldn't do that either because I had an epidural. couldn't feel my legs, so I couldn't sit on my legs. And I was like, okay, can I at least be on my side like this? Because I just didn't like having him on my back. And so we started on my side, did a couple of pushes, and they started to look a bit concerned, so they were like, look, we're gonna have to put you on your back. I was like, oh. This is like completely opposite to what I wanted for my birth, but it's fine. Went on my back, did a couple of practice pushes. These practice pushes turned into real pushes, because guess what? In 15 minutes, I had my baby. So pretty much I started pushing, his head was getting closer, they could see the head. And they're like, the baby's head is there. I was like, no freaking way, I've only been pushing for 10 minutes. So I put my hand down there and I felt his head. And in that moment I just burst out crying. It was so surreal to me that I was feeling my baby. Like, I didn't expect to have him so soon. And so after I felt him, I was just so determined to get him out at that point. And they were like, we need to get him out because his heart rate is dipping. And little did I know, the midwives were telling my fiance and my mum that I might need a C-section. Luckily I didn't hear that, because if I heard that I would have been in panic mode. So thank God that they didn't tell me. They were like, next contraction, push, you'll have your baby. So I pushed, his head was out, and then they were like, wait for another contraction. And then the other midwife was like, no, don't need to wait for another contraction, get her to push now. So they're like, okay, push again. And God, it was the toughest thing with an epidural. You cannot feel anything down there, so you don't know what you're doing. You're just hoping that you're pushing the right way. I was like, God, this is going to be intense later on. I didn't feel his head come out at all. Thank God for epidurals, because I thought surely the doctor that was there said that I needed an episiotomy, which is a cut down there to help him come out without me tearing, which could have been worse. At that point, obviously I didn't care. I was just like, do what you need to do. Unfortunately, look, this is another thing that I wanted. I wanted chest to chest straight away, come out, pop him on my chest. And I wanted delayed cord clamping. Do your research if you don't know what that is. Unfortunately, when Jerome came out, he was not crying at all. His eyes were open and he was just looking around, but he was not crying.
Oh my God, my baby!
Here he is, here he is.
Do you want to cut the cord down?
Yep, 100%.
Okay, and I'll take the baby. In between these two.
Between these two?
Yep, go. Oh my God, baby's got tone now. Baby's, oh, what am I stuck
Good boy, good boy. Oh, good job, Uncle.
So unfortunately they had to whisk him up straight away. Luckily my fiance could cut the cord, and so they took him up, tried to get him crying for me.
Oh, Baba. Congratulations.
Thank you.
That's it, good boy. Come on, buddy. That's it. That's it. Good boy. Good boy.
That's my boy.
Yeah.
He's got little hair.
Is he breathing?
Yeah, he's breathing. There you go.
Yes.
Woo!
That's it. Keep it up, big boy. Good job.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Mama's waiting. Mama's waiting.
Good boy.
Do you have a name for him yet? Yep. Jerome.
You know, eventually I did hear him cry. They got him crying. You okay? You okay? Oh, he's choky. You okay? You're a bit dramatic. I'm trying to do my birth story. Is that okay? Hey? But how could you be mad at this face? Oh, you're so cute. Eventually, yep, they got him crying. Once they had done that, they came and put him on my chest, and it was the most amazing thing ever. Like, I can't even explain the feeling of having my baby on my chest. Like, it was just, he's here finally after all of that.
Good boy, good boy.
Here's your baby. Pull your baby shirt up. Oh my baby.
Yes. Mama's here.
It's mommy. It's mommy. Yes.
If you want
I've
to
been
come off
waiting
into
so
the
long
trace.
for you, my
We
love.
have.
Yes. Oh my boy. Hi, Jerome.
At least 7 to 8 minutes.
Jerome.
Oh,
Good job, buddy.
if you click the top
Good
CCD
job.
trace.
Oh my baby. Yeah.
Oh, he's so small.
I know, it's funny. I know.
Oh, he did it.
The center's out.
Did it so well.
The bed off.
You what?
I'd love if we could take the end of the bed off.
Do you like the end of the bed off?
Well, yes, I'm not leaning over.
Oh yeah, but then
This is
where does
small,
everything
baby.
go?
Oh, well, at the moment.
That's. Oh my god.
He's so calm. He is very calm.
Da-da. Da-da-da-da. He's stripping. Get the muscles out, James. Woo-hoo.
Pretty perfect, I reckon, Bubba.
And then Grandma can have a hold.
We don't need that one.
No, I won't be. I ain't doing skin to skin.
So, we'll get a recording up for you.
Yes, darling. It's recording.
Do you want to release
Is that James' first one?
Yes.
And I'll get you another nice warm one too.
Okay. Listen, listen.
It's your daddy, darling. That's your
It's okay.
daddy.
You cry if you want. You cry if you want.
Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry.
Oh,
Bless
bless
you.
you. Bless you.
Bless you.
Oh, bless you, boy.
I love it.
You love it? No.
So calm. Gotcha.
Look at this little man. Oh, is that what you want to say? Oh, you putting on a show for everyone. How are the baby noises? Oh, you awake? You awake? He's the biggest grunter. Look at the camera. Okay. Can I put you down? Can I put you... Okay. Jerome just wants to say hi. He's taking over the vlog. Okay. I'll keep him here. Oh, how cute is this, by the way? My twin sister got it for him. Says Jerome. Anyway, guys, that's pretty much my birth story. I stayed in hospital for 2 nights and went home after that, and it was just, yeah, the start of us. Yeah, it was honestly the most amazing experience ever. I cry thinking about it sometimes. Yeah, I already want more, and he was worth everything. I would do it all over again for him. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it. All the love that you have shown me and him, and my new little family has been just overwhelming, and I can't thank you enough, and I can't wait to share with you him growing, and yeah, I can't wait Okay, say bye. 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 Wow, okay, we're done.